Okay, so if it's no secrecy, what are we allowed and not allowed? I don't know.
Well, that's why those people can be in here. Call them, tell them to come over and redo their ballot.
We are live.
All right, welcome everybody. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thanks everybody for coming today. We will call the regular meeting to order, and I'll be looking for a motion that the minutes of the previous meeting be accepted as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Ready? Can we call for a vote on that, please?
Mr. Bullard,
Yes.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Pisarcik.
Yep.
Mr. Van Steenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Burkett.
I don't think he's on there.
Okay, Mr. Godwall.
Yep.
Mr. Weaver.
Yes. Okay, looking for a motion that the jail report for March 2021 be accepted as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, let's call for a vote on Allison, please, Karen.
Mr. Bullard,
Yes.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Pisarcik.
Yeah.
Mr. Van Steenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Godwall.
Yep.
Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
Looking for a motion that the prisoner transport report for March 2021 be accepted as presented. Okay.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Okay, call for a vote on that, please, Karen.
Mr. Bullard,
Yes.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Pisarcik.
Yeah.
Mr. Van Steenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Godwall.
Yep.
Mr. Weaver.
Yep.
Looking for a motion that the financial report for March 2021 be accepted as presented.
So moved.
Okay, let's call for a vote on it also.
Mr. Bullard,
Yes.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Pisarcik.
Yes.
Mr. Van Steenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Godwall.
Yep.
Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
Motion that the intermediate punishment report for March 2021 be accepted as presented. So,
I'll second that.
call for votes on that, please.
Mr. Bullard,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Pisarcik.
Yes.
Mr. Van Steenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Godwall.
Yep.
Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
Okay, we are looking for a motion that the restrictive intermediate punishment drug and alcohol program report for March 2021 be accepted as presented.
Thanks.
Chad. Call for a vote on that, please, Karen.
Mr. Bullard,
Yes.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Pisarcik.
Yeah.
Mr. Van Steenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Godwall.
Yep.
Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
Okay, let's roll into old business. From the last meeting, I don't believe there was anything carried over as per what I had looked at. Does anybody have any old business that we need to discuss? None. Okay. Now let's go to new business. We'll start with.
New business, the inmates were offered the opportunity to get the vaccine, the COVID vaccine.
Okay.
We did have 27 inmates accept that, and they have received their first shot.
What was it? You know, Moderna?
Yes.
Anybody get sick?
Nope.
Good.
Yeah, we didn't have any reactions whatsoever. Nothing.
So it was offered to everybody.
Every single staff member and inmate in the facility were offered.
Okay.
We had 7 staff accepted, and we had 27 inmates accepted.
7 staff. Okay, good.
And would you know if there's any inmates that have been incarcerated and maybe have gotten the vaccine before they came in?
They have to go through the screening. None of them have reported that to medical
Okay.
today.
Okay, any other questions for Dustin on that matter?
Any other cases?
Just the ones from work release. We had a total of 5 come up. They all came from Paris cleaners. where we have them currently under quarantine. The whole work release program is shut down right now. The rest of the inmates that did test negative, they're in quarantine for 10 days. We're monitoring them. We're testing them regularly. And the inmates that did test positive, they're in a segregated housing unit and they're quarantined for 21 days.
So then work release restarts.
The 3rd of May would be the day that they were supposed to return, as long as there's no more positive cases that come out of it.
Do you have anything to add to that from the judge's point of view?
Just the, you know, everything that we have read, not only with local jails, but also state facilities that have had cases, I would put our turnaround up against anyone across the Commonwealth, the way we have snuffed ours out. It seems like, and I understandably speaking, that some of these facilities are much larger than ours and maybe they don't have the means to quarantine and isolate like we do, but it just seems like these state facilities that have a case or a handful, they chase it for weeks. And it seems like we're getting ours under control in a matter of days. So.
Boy.
Whatever we're doing.
Honestly, that's a big shout out to the medical staff and the staff at the jail. I mean, as soon as they see it, you know, we're fully gowning up, face shields, gloves, the whole nine. We're giving cleaning supplies constantly. Medical's on top of it. And, I mean, yeah, like Chad said, as soon as we see it, we're quarantining, cleaning everybody. Inmates have been really they're getting kind of sick and tired of wearing the mask all the time. But it's something we have to do. So that'll continue until further notice. But everybody's doing their part. Everybody.
So you have zero issues with the inmates wearing the mask?
I get complaints here and there, but no real issue. I mean, obviously, us sitting here, we're getting tired of wearing these masks, but it's part of life now. We're gonna have to do it until, you know, this is under control. Same thing we tell those guys up there. You gotta do it until we get this under control. Trust me, the day I can lift it, the day I'll lift it, but not right now.
All right. Any other questions for Dustin on this issue?
Not on that issue, but I sent everybody an email yesterday about one inmate that we've had problems with going to the hospital. Well, that should kind of be addressed somehow with the food issue.
Here's the copies of the emails that were sent.
I mean, the ones you were reviewing.
Oh yeah. I'll comment on that issue straight off if I could.
Go ahead.
This individual has been taken care of, and everything that's put down up there is either from the doctor's recommendation or the general surgeon. I know you had mentioned him needing to be on a soft diet.
We've been told that every time we've been at the hospital.
Yep, and here's on the front page of the medical diet order form that's been approved. He's been on a soft diet the entire time. So you said you found a whole carrot? That's because he didn't
I didn't
chew
find
it.
him.
Well, the doctor, yeah, the picture you sent. That is a soft food. They're already cooked. He just didn't chew it. He just swallowed it whole. That's why they found it.
I can't tell by the picture if it was cooked or uncooked.
Right.
But whenever they did the surgery, well, they stuck a thing down his nose for 2 days and sucked stuff out, and then they ended up going in and pulling his intestines out, and they actually thought it was a coin, but when he opened it up, here it was
The carrot.
bunch of chunks of whole carrots. He doesn't have any teeth.
Not whole.
So,
Like,
so he can't chew, and he's actually told guys watch vegetables, he just swallows them whole because he can't chew them. You know, and that's.
that's the sauce. And I know somebody on the board had recommending blending his food up. That is inhumane in my opinion. Unless a doctor specifically tells me that his food needed to be blended, I'm not gonna do that. Because I know nobody's sitting at this table or listening in today. You don't want your meals to be blended up if they don't have to be. You're not gonna sit there and drink that lunch. Like, and if you tell me differently, then I'll gladly provide you with one and you can show me that you wanna do it. That's fine, but I'm not gonna do that. As for now, I'm taking the doctor and the general surgeon's recommendation.
I just think his food needs to be monitored of what he's being given so that it doesn't cause the blockage. We've had him now 3 times for the same thing. This time unfortunately required surgery. We've had him to a surgeon already who said it's irreparable. It must be a lifelong thing. He's always had it. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just has to watch what he eats. But I don't want to get anybody, but the nurses have said that they've asked for a soft diet in the Heritage House or wherever we get the meals. Doesn't make specific meals for specific people. This is what you get and this is what there is.
And see, that's not true at all.
And
We have,
I
what,
can't answer that.
20 different diets right now? I mean,
It's like the first time he was at the hospital, I called you about it and you said he was on a liquid diet and I
Right.
called the guys, told them to tell the doctor he was on a liquid diet. The nurse told us that he ate everything that everybody else ate.
yeah, he was on a liquid diet and then he refused to eat at all. So then the general surgeon, which is right there, said that he could be modified into a soft diet, which he was. Now, I don't know whoever told whoever whatever, but I can tell you right now that the Heritage House, the nutrition group, they do the soft diet. And that's exactly what he's on. As in, like a can of carrots. If you go home and you get a can of carrots right now, you can open it up and you can squish it in your fingers. It's a soft food. So.
I don't have one of those carrots with me. So
I mean, I would love to bring it up if that's what you want to.
it looked like a nice crisp orange carrot in the.
But yeah, I mean, this surgery was, we already knew it was coming from the first time he went and seen the doctor. We knew it was happening. It was actually supposed to happen today. I mean, for your guys' sake, it happened last week where it didn't tie up more manpower whenever you have a run today. So I mean, you guys
Oh,
are
we have
lucky on that.
runs every day at just someplace.
Yeah.
We went to SCI today, it was 2. We're spending a lot of time at the hospital that I think can be somehow restricted or
It makes
Different
it
meal
makes
or
no
something.
sense to me, just quick guessing the hours you said there, that's 10 grand. Now you start in whatever the hospital, what we're paying to the hospital, and now a surgery. There's gotta be another 10 or 15 grand in there. What can be done to say to the doctor, hey, what can you tell us that we can get this guy that he's eating whatever that's not costing us and the taxpayers all this money?
It's not his diet that is causing these issues, and that's what I tried to explain to you on the emails. It is the injuries that he sustained whenever he was arrested. It actually paralyzed part of his small intestines, which made him not able to digest food properly. It's not his diet. I know you tried to point it out that it was. That's not what it was.
Well,
It was his medical
You
condition.
never said anything in the emails that he had an injury there that caused that kind of an injury. Thing.
Pretty sure
He
it
just
is.
said he had an injury. Well, an injury's a cut finger.
I know in the emails you were complaining about it costing the county money to feed him. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
If you're feeding him and after he's eating him, it costs us a medical bill every time, that's costing the county to feed him.
I just supplied it with an email saying that you were complaining about feeding an inmate. Like you specifically said that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're feeding him something, then we have to take him to the hospital and do surgery to get that food back out of him, that's costing us to feed him.
And I understand every time it's election year, you have complaints.
No, son, don't go there.
Don't call me son.
Don't go there.
Don't call me son.
I'll call you whatever I want.
All right.
Anyway, let's
Try me.
eliminate carrots from his diet.
Yeah, it's just asinine to feed the guy something that's gonna block him up.
So I just want the
If-
public to know
If the
that
doctor,
you're against feeding an inmate normal food.
No, if
Yeah,
it's
okay.
causing that kind of issue, do I wanna go through surgery? I've had that stuff in my nose and stuff stuck out of my
So you know
nose.
more than a general surgeon.
I've had it done to me.
Okay.
I have had that done to me.
So
It
either.
is not a good thing. It is not a fun thing. And if I could have something else,
Oh, no, that's your.
I would be happy for the other thing to happen. If I could eat something, a liquid
My
diet,
problem.
or eat something ground up, I would.
Well,
be
you're
tickled to death.
part of jail board. You know what happens at the jail because you're up there so often.
Here's
And you
the,
know more than a doctor.
nobody's
Sometimes,
blaming,
Sometimes, yes. Thank you.
nobody's blaming me. All
That's
I'm
exactly
asking
what it
is
was.
that we can watch what his bills are.
And we do, a certified dietitian goes over their meals.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not the expert in that field.
The guys love the overtime.
Hey, if we can move them on to bigger and better things in the legal system, let's
We
do it.
tried that. We sent emails out, but we never got any responses on it.
See, our primary function is care, custody, and control. That's what we do. If a doctor tells me, hey, this is the diet, the dietitian says, there it is, I'm gonna follow the recommendation.
All you can do.
Who pays the doctor?
The county. So you don't even wanna feed them now.
No, I'm saying.
That's in the
No,
email.
who pays the doctor so then somebody can talk to the doctor and say, here's the situation we have. Can there be another solution to this?
Well, see,
Has that been
the
tried?
medical staff has
Has
already
that
talked
been
to the
tried?
doctor. Can I finish the sentence, or are you just gonna keep going?
Yeah, I'll keep going. I don't
Keep
care.
going.
If you call the doctor and
Question
say,
here.
here, this is what's happening, this is on the back end, this is costing us money. Is there a solution that can be done here to save all these other issues?
Well, you guys are
Has
the board, you
has that,
guys go
has
take the
that
correct
been
approach.
tried?
You guys
Has
are
that
the
been
board,
tried?
take the correct approach.
You're not answering. Has that been tried?
Yeah, my medical staff has talked to them, and that's what I just provided you with, if you could read it. But no, you ain't got time for that.
No one has handed to me 30 seconds before the meeting.
Ain't
No,
that something?
I don't have time for that.
Ain't that something? Get
Why
blindsided?
didn't we have it yesterday?
You would've. Why didn't you
Why
ask
didn't
for
you?
it?
Okay,
Take control.
Oh.
all right, so we're gonna let it go at that. Deputy Warden, you got anything you wanna add, subtract?
No, sir.
So I'm just gonna say that there are some things that we can and cannot completely take control of. And in a matter of this, I mean, when we have explicit stuff from the doctor saying this is what we're to feed them, I don't see how we can go against that. At the same time, when there's a issue within a man's body that does not allow, I mean, it could be anything that can cause this to come back and have an operation, is how I look at it. So, I mean, so we could be trying to split hairs on something that, you know, if we are doing what the doctor says, at that stage of the game, I don't see how we can change that.
What I'm saying is, if we're paying the doctor's bill, if somebody knocks and says, hey, this is what's happening when he's being fed this, is there something else that can be done so that can be averted to save the county tens of thousands of dollars? That conversation needs to be had.
Okay, and the conversation was had, is that
Yeah.
correct?
That's correct.
So I think there's some reading we maybe need to do to catch up on.
And just summarize, you're saying that the inmate, what liquid diet, any diet, would have had this surgery today,
Absolutely. Without a
no matter
doubt.
what. no
That's
matter
what I'm
diet.
being told by
They-
my
it
medical
was-
staff.
It was an injury from previous,
Yes.
that we inherited because he's an inmate.
Yes.
And the judge is aware of this, and we are attempting to expedite him through the system as quickly as we can with regard to due process. We can't obviously circumvent any typical timings of certain things just based on rules and procedures, but if there's an attempt, if there's a state sentence that is going to be imposed, obviously with everything running its course, then that situation will be expedited as much as the courts can do, like they've done in the past.
So it's something where we are looking to rid ourselves of this person if we can.
Well, I mean, that's for everybody's case.
Sure.
We want to push everybody, right? And it doesn't mean the end stop is SCI, right?
Right.
That person needs to be back in his home and back to his
Absolutely.
job, and that's what all of our jobs are to be, is to be as efficient as we possibly can. Sure.
Until that time, we're gonna provide the best care we can to jail. I'm not this, like I said, I'm not the subject matter expert on a lot of these things, but when it comes to what he can eat and what he can't eat, I'm not just gonna blend his food up because somebody thinks that's a good idea. No, I'm gonna take the doctor's recommendation from them.
Your protocols, Paul.
Absolutely.
Anybody else, anything on that? So just keep us updated on
Yeah,
it, so,
sure.
and now, so just for conversation, is there something that they're gonna try to do to this guy eventually down the road that'll fix his issue up, or?
This last surgery should have helped him a great deal. Now, whether it does or doesn't, time will tell. I hope it does.
Transports, we took him to a surgeon and said that there was nothing you could do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
So this will be up for life.
it just, large chunks just won't pass. In the past, they fed him, they stopped feeding him and gave him lots of fluids and X-lax. And he was able to pass. This time, there was no passing, and like I said, they had, it's okay, I'm just gonna back to, they took so much out through his nose and stuff, and then ended up, they had to do a arthroscopy surgery, pulled his intestines out of there, cut out the stuff, and then I guess you saw the tray full of whatever was in there.
now along those same lines, are our Life Flight and Medevac transports all the way down? I mean, have we had one?
No, since we brought that up, what, a year, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
we maybe have 1 or 2 a year, and those are really emergencies.
Yeah.
Prior to that, it was like if you had a hang nail, we were life flighting you to Pittsburgh, and we'd get down there and it would be like, why are you here? And put you back in the car and just brought you back. And I mean, there was some that were justified, I guess, over the time, but a lot of them were just like, they got a free helicopter ride at our expense. We drove them back in the car. But those have been super low. I mean, it's been fantastic as far as life flights. That's been a big plus. I brought that up before, and I brought this up trying to save money.
Well, I think it's always been the practice of the board, if there's something we see, you know, that we're gonna mention it, of course, and I think that's part of what we're supposed to do, so, but, you know, in this case, with the concerns here, if you're doing what you're told to do at that stage of the game, you know, I mean, I don't see, but again, just like everybody else, we're here to always try to not spend money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys gotta know, like, my staff, we don't enjoy doing the extra duties that we have to do up there to accommodate certain situations. We don't enjoy that. We wanna do our job and we wanna go back to our loved ones like everyone else.
Sure.
We don't wanna do all these extra chores and pretty much turn into a nursing home up there while we're, you know, taking care of these people with the extra issues. We don't wanna do that, not in the least bit, but we will. That's our job.
That's right.
Our job is to take care of every single individual, whether you're staff or inmate. We will take care of you. That's what we do. No one will ever tell me differently. That's my job.
Okay. Alrighty, any other new business?
Dustin, maybe give a brief overview of your recent audit.
We were audited by Jones and Passadeus out of Pittsburgh, the attorneys. The attorney came up, she went through the whole entire facility. I gave her probably about 90% of her policies that she wanted to review and let her review them, and she had nothing but just great remarks to say about how we were running things. And, the policies were all up to date. I had a couple changes that I had to make, but they were just minor, just wording mostly. Everything looked to be in great order up there. She also made the mention that out of all the facilities she's ever been to in 32 years of doing this, that our jail was one of the cleanest jails she's ever been in.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Okay. Now, what prompted that? What was the trigger for that? CCAP?
CCAP, yep. Which is good, I mean, because now, you know, our inspection, we usually get inspected biannually. Our inspections haven't been able to take place due to the COVID, so, I mean, it was nice having her come up to go through that stuff with me since I'm new to that process. So, yeah, it was a great opportunity to go through a lot of issues and things.
Okay. Alrighty, anything else anybody wants to add, anything?
I just wanted to mention that we've been getting phone calls for the Orange Patrol, and it's, I guess, been eliminated now. So just want people to know that it's no longer there. Guess you build out mowing from the commissioner's meeting. What all is that? What all are you mowing with?
There, I don't have the list in front of me, but
Seemed like a pretty good price for doing all the cemeteries and county properties.
yeah, I'm not sure what else on the list. I don't have it. So Orange Patrol, there wouldn't be an Orange Patrol right now anyhow, though, because of the jail shutdown.
Correct, yeah, because they would live in the same housing unit as the work release inmates.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Anybody? Sam, you've been pretty quiet back here.
No, sir. Good, thank you.
All right. Okay, do we have any press or anything on here or see anything? Do you?
No, and, yeah, there's no one online. I don't see any notes there. Should be good to go, Commissioner.
Well, then I guess we will look for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Some.
Second.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Short pants.
I saw you looking.
You can try me. Don't call me boy. I'm gonna hurt you. Don't call me boy.
You,